The final shots before heading home. There's no enemy on the other end. These Dutch soldiers are just getting rid of surplus ammunition and having a little fun as well. In a few hours, they will have left the Afghan province of Uruzgan, where they've spent 4 months fighting the Taliban. For them, the war is over. But just a short distance away, in the 41st Kandak Battalion's camp, the Afghan army's war is only just beginning. For Barack Obama, these men represent the future of Afghan security. The US president has pledged to withdraw international coalition troops within a year, and when that happens, these soldiers will take over.
2nd Platoon, 41st Kandak Present, 27 men. Corporal Hakrim at your service, Sergeant.
Afghans are now fighting Afghans. The National Army is taking on the Taliban insurgents. In Afghanistan, whether you're a guerrilla fighter or a regular soldier, the day's fighting is always done under the protection of Allah.
In the name of Allah the Merciful, before everything, I wish you a good week. I wish you a happy week, without deaths or wounded. And now control operations in our sector. We'll have to stay careful and watch out for and avoid mines on the routes you'll be taking. But my brothers, I also ask you this week to make a particular effort with regard to military discipline. Take care of your barracks as if it were your own home.
250 men live here. They receive a basic level of board and lodging. Each takes home $150 per month, a meager salary even by Afghan standards. Little surprise then that the 41st Kandak Battalion has a 30% desertion rate.
Stop standing around like that.
More than half of the men will leave the army as soon as their training is over.
You breathe regularly, you hold, you fire.
A situation Captain Salim has to deal with on a daily basis. Barely 30 years old, he's been with the Afghan army since its creation in 2002. Today, Salim commands around 40 soldiers. He trains them and takes them on military operations each week.
We have a proverb in Pashto. When a lame dog barks, he still scares the chickens. Today, we're like that dog. We scare, but we're lame, and we can't do too much damage.
It's an admission of the weakness that undermines the Afghan officers' morale.
Today we're fighting the Taliban, but if one day we realize that no one's looking after our people, then it will be our task to fight for the people. Today, Afghan politicians are only worried about their privileges, far more than about the people. It can't last long.
Currently, part of Uruzgan province remains under Taliban control. This morning, like they do every week, the 41st Kandak are getting ready to go out and look for them. The troops' aim is to make their presence felt throughout the whole sector.
Touran Clavé will be with Salim, because Salim is in the 2nd platoon.
On this occasion, the Afghans are being assisted by French soldiers who advise them on tactics.
Yes, we'll follow the river, on the north side.
Salim will take a primary role at the head of the patrol, but his men are already running late.
You, go and get the radio. You should have it.
But it's not my job to carry it. It's always me. I'm fed up.
Well, if it's you, you piss me off, so go and get the bloody thing.
I'm fed up. It's always me.
Here, it's a short way.
The men will be patrolling what is known as the Green Zone, which runs alongside the Helmand River. Just yesterday, a Frenchman and an Afghan man were injured when an improvised roadside bomb laid by insurgents exploded in this very spot. The region is packed with these kinds of explosives, and the French group advises the Afghans to be careful.
It could just be a bit of old metal, or at worst an IED perhaps, or a mine.
This time around, it's nothing of the kind, just a decoy to delay the soldiers. But the Afghan approach to bomb disposal is markedly different. They prefer a much faster method. Relations between Afghan troops and coalition forces are far from easy. A different approach to tactics and the value of human life complicate matters. Neglecting to wear their helmets, these two men march in front of Captain Salim's pickup.
Yes, sir, we're minesweeping.
Their feet serve as mine-detecting instruments. Within the Afghan ranks itself, there are splits and differences. The soldiers represent the country's rich tapestry of different ethnic backgrounds.
Uzbek from Mazar.
Tajik, yeah, Tajik.
I'm Uzbek too.
I'm Turkmen.
No less than 5 different ethnic groups and as many languages, none of which helps the troops to organize themselves.
Come on, get a move on. No, not there.
Stop pushing.
I said not there.
Across the river is the green zone. The Kandak will be there in just a few minutes.
Hold the pulley and pull the cable.
The soldiers know that they're entering Taliban territory and that the mission is entering a critical phase. Carrying heavy guns and ammunition, they still have a 6-hour march ahead of them. During the first break, this corporal has a special pick-me-up ready. It's a small ball of hashish which he slowly chews during the long trudge. In the Afghan army, intoxication while on duty is common and rarely punished. Up front, Captain Salim is trying to keep his cool. His scouts have just intercepted this black pickup. There are 5 men inside, unarmed, but still the patrol has doubts. Salim is already behind schedule. Leaving guards with the vehicle, he continues on the planned route without paying much attention to the incident. The battalion is heading for the village of Sintarel.
Are there Taliban around?
Oh, yeah.
You've seen them?
Well, yeah, so have you. They've just left.
It turns out the black pickup was more than just suspicious.
Yeah, do we still have guards by that black pickup?
Unfortunately for Salim, the men have got away. A major mistake.
That one there, you search him.
Hey, I'm from here. I'm just looking after my wheat. I'm just a poor peasant.
Now irritated, Salim is determined to get results.
Get me the police. I want this village searched.
But he isn't authorized to search it himself. Only the Afghan police have the right to go into private homes, not the army. Here in Uruzgan, as in much of Afghanistan, these men, in grey, have a poor reputation. They're known for violence and corruption, and they often turn out to be Taliban informers as well.
Right, off we go. You search there, and you search there.
Yeah, but we've already searched there.
Oh yeah, good point.
As the group carries out its summary search, the other team makes a discovery at the village exit.
Hey, come and look at this.
It's a poppy field, the raw material for making heroin and opium. The banned crop is known to directly finance the insurgents, but that's not the only motivation for growing it.
Well, I want to stop growing poppies, but how else am I going to feed my family? That's all very well, but I get 5 times more for poppies. Now the police are telling me that if I don't get rid of the poppies, they'll get rid of me.
This time the man is left alone, and his field as well, because once it hits the market, the police will take their share of the profits. Outside the village, Salim is getting impatient.
Do you see them?
The search is still underway and doesn't seem to be yielding much.
Well, have you found anything?
Yeah, we've got a Makarov.
A Makarov, an old Russian pistol, of which there are thousands in Afghanistan.
Careful, it could be loaded.
Overall, it's a poor result for a lot of effort. One field of poppies located, an old gun seized, but a group of insurgents left to roam free in a seemingly endless game of hide and seek.
I joined the Afghan army to serve my country, Afghanistan. But our army is very young, so it's not obvious. We're only just getting started, you know? We still need NATO to help us get bigger. For now, the coalition can't just leave us.
In 2011, if the Americans do achieve their goal of pulling out of Afghanistan, the Afghan army could find itself thrown right in at the deep end. As things stand today, if it were left to fight the insurgents on its own, it would lose. For Captain Salim's men, the choice is clear: persevere or disappear.